because then that's going to allow the thing to surface for the remainder of the people. So like that early test group who's around, they determine whether or not you're going to see a video as a subscriber, not me. Well, me, because I decided on a subject matter, but I even recognize now that distance, the difference between 1 percentage point CTR is significant enough to slump a video hundreds of thousands of views. At least in my case, the multiplier effect of like, I don't know, maybe this is very inside baseball for people right now, but if you are talking about the difference between like a 7% CTR and an 11% CTR, it's like you may have put the same amount of work into the whole project, but you got half the business out of it.
Yeah, that's always discouraging. But it's the game.
But that's why I'm saying when it comes, you can take it two ways. You could take it in such a way of like catastrophe, or you can take it in such a way of like an indication that it's time for experimentation,
adapting. Yeah,
and
flipping it over,
and not being super committed to the same formula necessarily. Now, granted, if you do the thing that I'm saying, people will be very angry because they'll say, I'm subscribed to Peter McKinnon.
Yeah, I didn't come here for this.
I know
you've changed
and love Peter McKinnon. And actually, you know what I miss? I miss the old Peter McKinnon.
Yeah. I miss 2017 Peter McKinnon. He was awesome. 2018 was pretty good too.
I guess old habits die hard.
This 2021 Peter, I'm not having it. No.
Brutal.
Hanging out with Lou now.
Yeah.
This guy thinks he's a big shot.
Ruined everything.
Hanging out with the big dogs. I see how it is.
Ever since that conversation, downhill.
Cool. Must be nice in that big studio.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how we can write the comments so easily?
Yeah.
They live there.
They're deep inside.
Yeah. What is that thing they say is rent free?
Yeah.
They live in there rent free.
They really do.
Yeah. You're not supposed to read those comments, you know.
I'm 50-50 on it. Sometimes I just get in there because there's some cool people and I like engaging, and sometimes I hop in and I'm like, oh, what have I done? Time to go. Ripcord.
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here.
All right. So,
but I like, I'm down for experimenting and trying new things, and being creative is the entirety of why I got on YouTube. So, yeah.
So as far as your main channel is concerned here, your bread and butter, your baby, as you call it.
Yep.
What's going on?
I'm really liking longer form content now. I used to kind of just try to, I would say like, let's just bang out a quick video. Let's pick this topic, give some talking points about this, shoot some B-roll, boom, moving on. People love it. But now I'm trying to get a little more thoughtful, a little more creative, not trying to rush to stuff as fast. So like that old truck that you saw, people wanted to see a video about that for weeks and weeks and weeks, but it would be too easy to just get inside, show the interior, talk about why I got it, and move on. I'm like, there's got to be a story. There's got to be a deeper story. I got to spend more time crafting something that will leave people with some sort of lasting impression beyond that of just cool truck, see ya. So that type of mindset moving into the content that I'm doing now is what I'm trying to do. So for instance, on Thursday, like my grandfather used to drive that truck, that same one. So we're driving it up north to find his old shop, to park it in front of, take some photos of it, get them printed, bring them to my grandmother, kind of like craft more of a
story or
narrative around it than just like, check out my truck, see ya. And I'm trying to apply that to a lot of the videos that I'm making. But it means less videos because everything's taking longer.
What does less mean?
Less videos a week. Less videos.
I know. I'm talking about numbers. Like
oh man. Recently, it's been like one
video per week.
One video a week, and that's just to like supplement the 5 or 6 I have that I'm working on that are the longer form ones. So I'm kind of just playing with where I'm the most comfortable and the most happy creating. I don't think I can really handle the 4 videos a week anymore.
Is that
That's around
peak?
what it was. Yeah, the peak was like 3 minimum, 4 max every single week. But I just I've got a different style now. I've got a different like yearning
Well, I didn't expect to hear that word on here.
in wanting people to experience what I create. So, but that could change because at the same time, we got to go to work. And I can't just go to work and sit around and wait for a video for a week, right? Sometimes you gotta go create. You gotta just make vids.
Make something.
Yeah.
It also, you get into this weird thing where you've had a certain rate of publishing, like a rate of hitting publish. And the whole thing is sort of a game too. It's like a game inside of a game.
Yeah.
It's like there's the art of making the thing, and then there's the art of getting it seen, or the art of analytics, or
The titles and thumbnails is like an entire day. Oh my goodness, bro. I used to like it. And then if something happened and it's the bane of my existence now, I'm like, what do I must text 15 people. What should is this a good title?
Oh God.
And then I get 100 opinions, all different. And then I choose something and I feel like it's always the wrong choice. I'm like, come on.
You know what? I think that what you're talking about right now can probably be applicable to a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
This idea of like a series of possible decisions and none of them are the right decision. Do you know what I mean? Like all of them are maybe slightly better or worse than the other, but you know from the get-go you're doomed.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the process of titling and
lose.
thumbnailing a thing in modern YouTube.
And that's what makes or breaks it, man. And it could be like a "the" in the title, or the one you came up with first 4 hours ago is the one you ended up going with after this big think tank on a whiteboard.
It only gets worse.
I'm just cruising with good words now. Think tank, yearning.
Never mind if you get into the those analysis tools that will look at a headline and give it a score prior to using it. Yeah, don't.
Well, I've never even heard of
Don't
this.
even bother because
No, we got to go there right now.
No,
Explain that.
because
Unpack that, please.
the unpacking is it's more of what you just described. It's more doom.
But it'll give you a percent. Like that's 80% likely to fail.
It'll give you a number, a score based on a variety of factors, but it turns you into a robot. Like,
Does it ever work? Has it ever worked?
What's it called?
Listen,
I don't even know.
Listen to me.
Shoot me that text
Listen
after.
to me. Listen to me. Nothing works right now. You understand? There is 5, 6, 7% CTR used to work. It doesn't work anymore. Period. That's it. The platform is different now. It's more competitive. Period.
Do you think views are just less all the way around right now?
Not necessarily, right? The platform is just more competitive. So if you're Mr. Beast, no, views are not down because he's competing on every checkbox. Is like from production to proposal to
Ideation.
daily active users. Like things get thrown out that don't hit a particular criteria, and we're just talking about the world's most competitive content marketplace. And there's more players than there ever were. I'm 10 years deep.
Yeah.
I'm 10 years deep. I remember a YouTube where it was like, damn, what am I going to watch? Not a YouTube that was like, you should watch this. You should watch this. You should watch this. Have you watched this yet?
Wow. Yeah. 10 years, man.
10 years. Imagine doing something for 10 years.
I mean, you look good.
I got to be honest with you. This is refreshing over here, though.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Well, because I feel like it's absent of some of the stuff that we were just talking about. Like as far as a title to this, it's going to be your name. I don't even think it's going to be any finesse. I don't think I'm going to put any sauce on that sandwich.
No spice?
Zero.
Zero spice. Love spice. But
Man,
riddle me this. Would you ever consider like, okay, my audience doesn't know Peter McKinnon? Some of them might. But I mean, you got 20 million people looking for things coming out of boxes. Those people who are watching this channel might not necessarily.
There's not 20 million people on this channel, by the way.
But your fans are coming across.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So you're going to get potentially less views if you lead with my name, I would think, just because people don't really know me over here.
Right.
So would that not?
No, I have high expectations for your name.
Would you not factor that in? Are you putting that in your little online calculator?
No, because what I'm trying to say is like maybe that's the second channel thing to a certain extent. Like him and I were goofing around, and we
It is what it is.
and we started getting we started to post a couple of things that were maybe not us, and then you get a taste for when you're trying to figure out what the reward is, or you're trying to figure out job well done.
Mm.
You know, maybe there's like a dude out there who's into woodworking. Now, I'm not talking about on YouTube. I'm not talking about making content. There's a dude who's a guy, and he's into woodworking just for himself.
All right.
And he's chiseling and he's sanding and he's
Planing.
Yes. These things.
Yeah.
Maybe there's even a tongue and groove involved.
Yeah. There's some lacquer going on.
At the end of it, he looks at the thing. He derives tremendous enjoyment from it. He sticks it in his living room. Maybe he smells it every so often. But one thing he doesn't try to do is make 10,000 of them and sell them at the Walmart. Maybe that's not what he decides to do.
What if he's an Etsy shop?
No, he doesn't even do that.
Shopify?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
So he does it for himself.
You know
Does
what?
it for
Maybe,
himself.
you know what? He can sell it on Etsy. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's one thing that I noticed though
Yeah.
is that like when I started talking on this other channel, is a smaller community. The conversation was quite a bit different.
Interesting.
Scale seems to play some sort of a role in sentiment.
So
Like if you have millions and millions of subscribers, there seems to be a sort of genericness to it.
will you become like just a brand, less of like a person or just a thing?
Then the number can you would have situations in life where you know some kids would approach you and they'd be like, oh, that's Unbox Therapy, he has 15 million subscribers, they would tell their friend.
Yeah.
It's like the number in some way precedes like that, like the Black Mirror episode or something.
Yeah.
The number precedes the actual number is some sort of identity check.
I had that experience literally 2 days ago with like a 7-year-old. Do you have a YouTube channel? Yeah. How many subscribers? I was like, I don't know, like 5 million. They're like, oh, so you're legit. You're a real channel.
You're
Right.
a real
And I
person.
was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Good thing it wasn't less.
But it's like in some ways there's a kind of refreshingness to maybe just skewing the metrics ever so much. I'm not saying, I mean, like you said, you got to go to work and you got to put something together that people actually want to see. But like, let's say I put Peter McKinnon over there because I feel like it best represents the thing that I'm doing instead,
Sure.
and take the pressure off the sauce. Maybe just on like a personal psychological health aspect. There's some sort of reward to that I can take the oxygen gained from that post and then bring it to the saucy stuff.
That's deep.
Like
It makes sense.
like a content meditation. Do you know what I mean? And and I should add something to that, which is conversation. Like even before you got over there, I was like, we should do this segment. We should do that segment. I'm like, bleh.
Yeah.
What if you're just there
Just let it ride.
and I'm just here?
Because this is what would be happening if there were no cameras. We'd probably still be having this conversation. If I just sat down and we were having some water and chatting, this is more than likely what we'd be talking about.
Well, now that you've said that, we can't possibly proceed. It's impossible from there.
Okay, with regards to the platform and things changing and channels, what do you think of shorts? I'm just starting to experiment with them. I made 2. One was here.
I like your short.
Thanks. And with regards to the platform and things changing and channels, what do you think of shorts? I'm just starting to experiment with them. I made 2. One was here.
I like your short.
Thanks.
I like your short. I watch your short.
Yeah.
He did a short on a Ford Lightning electric truck versus his 44-year-old truck. Beautiful truck. And it might be my favorite short
Thank you.
I've ever seen.
Well, I've got another one coming.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
You know what?
You know what actually I really like about this short is where you chose to shoot it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't the fondest of the location. I felt a little claustrophobic shooting it.
I felt like the ceiling should have been
Maybe
a foot
little.
higher.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I felt like it could come down at any moment.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that.
The thing with me and shorts is I feel like it opens up permission to be more creative and try more things with less pressure. Kind of like what we were talking about. It's a bit of like, oh, this could be a little bit of a solution of making some of this content that is unrelated, but it's just short. It's just fast.
Yeah. I'm conflicted on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm conflicted on it
Why?
because I don't know why it is. Maybe it's the age of my kids right now, but I get worried about the attention span. Like I get worried about just the next. Like what do you I talked to Will about this. You spend an hour on TikTok. Somebody comes to you an hour after and goes, what were you just watching?
Yeah, pixels.
I don't know. I was watching my own thumb go up and down the screen. I don't know what I was watching.
Yeah. Yeah, endless. Now you see that as a bad thing. That's the way media seems to be moving forward, man.
I don't know if it's even
Less attention, like everything's faster, more convenient. I don't want to sit and watch 2 guys talk about stuff for
It's funny.
20 minutes. I want to laugh
I know.
now.
I
Move
know.
next.
And I toy with it because I can't help it because I see it. Will do something. He'll show me like a YouTube short. He'll do this to me.
He'll crush you like this?
He'll show me a YouTube short with 186 million views.
Oh, I know.
He'll show that to me.
Well,
And I'll be over here sitting on this chair with this microphone saying, no, man, we're going to be about something else.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, no, you know what? For those that choose to go on the ride, travel a little further, you go with us on this journey.
yeah, no, I like that.
There might be a different reward. I don't know. I mean, part of it, like I said to you, is some sort of meditation on my own behalf to just remember what it's like to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we don't have a phone right now.
Yeah.
Like our thumbs are doing nothing right now.
Just docile.
And maybe it's possible that if there's something rewarding being in that experience of exercising that ancient activity, process, whatever, then maybe there's also something for those that follow along with that and aren't feeling compelled to swipe past it, even though it might not be the same number of people. Like I know people, we tried to do a shorter episode. We did a 15-minute episode, and I swear to God, somebody in the comments said, my 3-year-old normally falls asleep to your voice when you put an hour-long thing out there.
Yeah.
And I said, how do I quantify such a thing? Like, I thought to myself, first of all, I thought, how dare you put that on me?
I'm sorry.
I got kids that won't even fall asleep to my own voice. Let me get one of those.
Yeah.
But no, then second, I was like, that's not a click. That's something different than a click. Like part of it is the economy of it. Is that the way things are presented to you, you and I'm talking, I think the general public probably doesn't pay as much attention as we do to things like views.
Yeah.
but we can't help it because it's the daily. And but ultimately, like he can show me 186 million, and I have the same problem that the kid that approaches me and shouts out how many subscribers I have.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, well, how do we do that then?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, damn, is that really what you prepared to get on that treadmill? I don't know. Maybe everybody has to find their own version of it. But we toyed around. We posted a couple. Most of it is just because on this show we would be mostly like talking about stories or watching videos and then reacting to it. So it was a couple of short versions of that we started to publish. But I'm split on it. At the same time, I in my own head toy with the idea of like the purest thing being just talking to people and publishing that on this channel, and never mind the shorts thing at all. So it's a really conflicting, because I remember even before I started to think about on this channel, it was like with Unbox Therapy, you could totally imagine having short unboxing videos, right? Like you could have a compelling or creative unboxing video in a minute. A minute's a long time. But I'm just not feeling super healthy about it. I don't know what I can say. At the same time, I got to put something on the end of that. I've for a long time had the feeling that, and it's the philosophical conversation, but that to a certain extent, you got to travel to the location of the party instead of always trying to create it yourself. Like you got to go enjoy the party every so often instead of being like an old man or whatever. Be like, no, I got this. This is the right. This is how you party, kids. You hear that? That's the Rolling Stones right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's an equal part of that, which is like, if nobody hears what you're saying anyways, then a tree falls in the forest, blah, 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 blah. So there is some gamesmanship which comes into it from time to time. So you try to find a balance to it. But honestly, we've been talking for 5 minutes over here. I know it's more than 5 minutes. And for me personally, I don't know if it will translate to people participating in it. But for me, I would take this right now over scrolling my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
So what does that say then? What does it say about scrolling the phone? Like, why do we do it? When do we do it? Is it in the absence of opportunity? Or would we seek out more opportunity if we didn't have that glitch, if we didn't have that pause button?
Oh, I don't know the answer.
I mean, you don't want to be looking at your own screen time metrics.
Oh, no, I don't.
But anyway, I think there's probably some sort of mix. There's probably some sort of way to exercise in both areas and try to find a healthy dose of each thing.
Yeah. So if you're not doing them, what's your output? How many videos are you putting out a week?
What, on Unbox Therapy?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like 2 to 3. And then over here, we were on a crazy thing for a bit.
What was it like?
We were on a crazy thing for a bit.
20 videos a day?
Well, because we clipped out, we would clip out each subject.
Yeah.
And then, but we would shoot like whatever was happening in the news around a particular set of interests, which would be like I
remember you guys doing a thing about like the F-150 chips, and
it would be an hour, around an hour, which would then cut down into maybe 15 different segments at each one at a different amount of time, just trying to make it easier to select for what you wanted to watch. And it was a model that existed for long form. It was a way to make long form digestible. Even you might get, you'll get clipped, I guess.
Are we clipping?
Yeah.
You're going to clip.
Oh, baby.
You're
We're
going
clipping.
to clip
right up.
Peter McKinnon. How many clips? I don't even know where you would cut.
Well, we haven't even talked about the truck that you had in here yet.
We haven't.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
We are.
People have seen it by now.
On your channel.
On yours?
No.
You haven't even
Did
seen
you
it on
post
yours.
it on IG or anything?
No, man, I didn't. Kirk's still working on it. I mean, this is a serious edit going on, but I don't know. It's going to be.
It's looking. You know what? There's spice on that edit. I'll tell you that much.
There might be.
Yep.
It's probably not a YouTube short. It might be half an hour long.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I saw the timeline.
might
It's
be.
not a YouTube short.
It might be half an hour long, but it is a cool truck.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. I mean, we drive the same vehicle.
That's weird too.
Yeah.
And we're wearing similar colors too.
Yeah.
And we're from around the same area. You know, it's kind of terrifying actually.
What do you think?
Oh, the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said in the video, I think it's a really important vehicle, the F-150 electric, the Lightning. I think it's important because it's really a clientele that should be the toughest to flip. Like the truck clientele. How often are you reminded of the massive fuel tank on your F-150?
Yeah.
Like you don't go to the gas station very often.
No, you really don't.
It's quick. It's a quick process to just get fueled up for another, in our case, almost 800 kilometers.
Almost 800? Bro, you got to work on that.
850?
I'm like 890.
Okay, all right, yeah. I think I drive faster than you, apparently.
Dude, I'm sport mode or nothing.
Oh, really?
It doesn't come out of sport mode.
And you're still getting 890?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And so that's a tough crowd. It's also a crowd that the truck crowd is a crowd that really favors reliability, uses these things for work. And
I think they could probably see this as novelty. Not going to work. Gimmick.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the sort of that's a Cybertruck approach. Is like we're going to convince electric car people to get a truck. Ford has a different battle
Approach,
on its
yeah.
hands. They got to convince F-150 people to get electric. So it's two different paths towards the same thing.
It's funny because I was talking to someone from Ford about the Lightning, and I was like, "Oh, I got to see it," and they're like, "Looks great. It looks like a truck, doesn't it?" And they were very excited about the fact that it looks like a truck. So that was probably a big part of that.
Yeah, I was
Flipping that crowd, being like, "Look, it doesn't look any different. It's going to operate and look the same as what you already know." That's my big deal.
I was thinking about that thing. About how you would hear about these tribes where like one dude would decide to get flamboyant or something. He decided to get like too much of an outfit going on. He would decide to get like I don't know, maybe take the feathers to the next level, try to show off or something. And the rest of the group would be like, that's a liability right there. They would decide that that wasn't part of the uniform. And of course, there's all other examples of this, like why do people wear suits and ties, or in the military, why do they have a uniform? Things like this. I feel that there's probably like a similar element to that, where the truck is sort of a uniform of a certain. Well, I mean, you could put it to a certain occupation, but also just a certain way of being to a certain extent. It's like it's utility. It's representative of utility as opposed to. Although we have pretty superficial trucks, you know that. Now that I think about it,
Ours.
if you get a Raptor, then you're kind of playing both sides.
Yeah, I don't see
You kind
many.
of got some feathers. You're kind of wearing some feathers.
I don't see many like foremen.
You
or,
got
like,
an orange one. Your next one is orange.
Yeah. I put the extra feather on the next one. You don't see any like sight supers rolling up in a Raptor.
You better be careful out there on those trails. All those feathers.
You're gonna just wait. I'll bring it over here. And be like,
No, I love it. I'm sure. I mean, it's definitely cool, but it's funny. The like fancy truck thing is relatively recent as well. Like the truck that you brought from 77, those are pretty bare bones type deals.
Yep.
Now you got 4 doors and massage seats, and they're basically luxury cars that sort of look a little bit less than they on the outside they look pretty normal outside the Raptor. Even the Platinum one, they put a few badges and things like that. But the Cybertruck is a whole level of feather commitment that is beyond the scope of the general public, and it's more in the realm of supercar level head turning, maybe even beyond.
Yeah.
And
do you like it? I get asked this all the time because people know how much I love my Ford truck.
Listen, I
get asked this, dude, daily.
So this vehicle looks a lot like the Warthog from Halo, and I played that game as a kid.
Yeah, Master Chief's coming out of that. Cortana is like what makes that run.
So I got a soft spot, you know. I like science fiction. I'm a weird guy.
Here's my thing though, like you're getting all these renders, but like where are the mirrors? Where are the wipers? Are they being omitted? Is that just not something we need anymore?
The dimensions have already changed from the original.
Isn't it made from like steel that's indestructible? Like, look, like, wasn't that part of the presentation? Like, how is that going to be road safe?
It's going to change. But certain aspects, the dimensions, I believe, already changed. Certain things will change a little bit before it hits the streets. But something like that will be on the roads.
I'm excited to see it in real life. I've never seen it in real life. Have you?
No.
I want to see that little quad too.
Quad as well.
This is one of those situations where it's just hard for me not to like it, even though
that's cool.
I have the similar skepticism to you about how it's all going to fit together. Having had a truck and had a truck do truck things for, I guess this is my third right now. You don't want to give up certain utilitarian aspects just because it looks cool. So I would have to really engage with it in practice to see if that was the case or not. But then also just agreeing to get that much attention. It is a funny thing about selecting for a vehicle.
I did go orange.
Well, in your case, you're going to get plenty of attention, but still not Cybertruck attention.
No.
Cybertruck attention is going to be
phones out the window.
Next level attention. I mean, you can't pull up to the parking lot on some sort of covert mission. Just like a jump in and a jump out.
With a little quad in the back.
There's no covert missions over here. So that has to be something you're willing to sign up for. But this one, it still seems like it's a bit off. I don't know. I put the payment on it, whatever they wanted, $500. I don't even remember. But yeah, it's really curious to contrast those two products. There's really such different approaches that it's honestly hard to figure out to put them in the same category, even though they are.
Yeah. Lightning versus Cybertruck versus Rivian.
Now, Rivian, you might get Willie Doo's attention.
You're into that?
Yeah. I like their truck.
Rivian, you got Jeff Bezos with a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Driving to his spaceship. He's invested heavily in it. And I think they have a pretty nice looking thing. They have some cool features in it too. It's kind of in between the two. It's like futuristic, but truck. Very expensive though.
Yeah.
$100,000.
Is that starting?
It's a lot of them. I mean, it's that 175 right there, but the starting price is much higher than the other two. So it's fun. It's going to be fun. Like if you click on the blue picture there, Will, and like look at the pass through behind the back seat.
Oh, that's clever.
That's cool, right?
Haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Snowboard, skis, stand up paddle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They find ways to get you.
Yeah, that's clever.
They show you something. And if you're a utility junkie, you're dead.
Like, why didn't I live with that? How
dead.
have I been like alive this long without the pass through?
Yeah, I was a kid. I was like trying to get I was like for Christmas asking for the Swiss Army knife, you know. Like a guy's got 12 tools in there, you know.
I'm big on knives. In not a creepy way.
Easy.
Yeah. I've got so this is where the whole second channel thing came from.
Oh
yeah.
Wait a sec. Do we have a second channal?
I haven't posted to it yet, but it exists.
Baby, let's bring that puppy up. It all lives on this second channel.
You've already got it queued. Yeah. That's my
research.
So this account I created because I'm into kind of like everyday carry stuff, pocket knives, those types of things, coffee, whiskey, this basically lifestyle that you're looking at on the screen. And it just didn't fit that Peter McKinnon brand. So I was like, this needs to go somewhere. And a lot of my friends call me Pirate Pete. So I just started trying to figure out what username worked. Pete's Pirate Life worked. Started posting. No one knew it was me at the start, and that was kind of fun. It was just some random account posting everyday carry stuff with pirate things, and people were on board.
Did you see?
Willie is on board.
No.
I like the style.
No. There's a moment there.
Did I miss like an inflection?
Well, this guy, sometimes he takes it too far with his reactions. And that's actually...
It's a subtle one, but you always pick it up.
Are we going to clip that?
It was a key
Probably.
component in here when you said it was originally anonymous. That turned him right on. I just want to make sure that nobody missed that.
Okay, we'll clip that. So worked. Random account posting everyday carry stuff with
No.
things, and people were on board.
Did you see?
Willie is on board.
There's a key
Probably.
component in here when you said it was originally anonymous. That turned him right on. I just want to make sure that nobody missed that.
Okay, we'll clip that.
Because he's got weird content habits as well.
For sure, yeah. I think we all do, to a certain extent.
Well, not like you.
So I started posting. No one knew it was me. I got pretty far before people started putting it together. The hand tattoos really kind of ruined it.
All right.
Cat was out of the bag. Then I partnered with this dude. In the States, and we started selling products, and now it's
check out that
it's gone to the-
modeling pose over there.
Oh, I got that dialed, bro.
Look at that with the profile and the
Latitude.
hand on the shoulder as
course.
well.
Hand on the shoulder would just be weird. Yeah, come on, just picture it.
My version would be just empty cans.
So we got, hand forged axes, all kinds of cool accessories,
Let me ask you something.
and this is what the channel was going to be about.
Let me ask you something. Which one is Peter McKinnon?
Which one's more Peter McKinnon?
No. This is a winner take all. One or the other is more representative and
Of what? I think it's this. Wow. Yeah. A lot of my close friends who follow this account, when they see it, they're like, "That's just you, man." Like dirt bikes and pocket knives and trucks and snowmobiles and quads and coffee and whiskey and moody lighting, and the style of photography is what you've always been into, and shooting in the fall and in the Arctic with these random dudes, and that's very much my style to a T.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
maybe it takes time to get here. Like your original Peter McKinnon channel, you had to go through all that to get here.
It's possible. And you know what the funny thing is right now? I'm enjoying this more.
Well, I can tell.
How can you tell?
Look at this. It's a whole mood over here. I can smell it and taste it.
Yeah. That's a good descriptor.
It's a whole mood over
but
here.
when you look at this and then you look at my main Instagram
Okay,
account,
let's go there. Let's go there, Will. Let's do this right now. No.
This is it.
There's nothing
Here we
going
are.
on. There's nothing going on over here.
It's-
This is This looks like a YouTuber right here.
This is fascinating for me. No, like what can you like? What are you tasting and smelling over here?
No. I mean, it's
It's got some of the same mood, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have that rustic.
they're not completely separate. Obviously, there's going to be some crossover. And Instagram's a weird place because I can tell that you put a lot of energy into like
Yeah.
what's going on Instagram.
A lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not really a fair comparison, but I was actually going more based on the way that you set it up.
Okay.
The way you were describing the new project as I was also looking at it, I was
Okay.
like, oh, this guy's into this.
Yeah.
This guy's not into that other thing, that other channel.
Interesting.
Like he's into this. No, because I experienced the same thing where it's hard to be into all the different things to the same degree.
And it comes and goes, right? There are times where I'm tired of this for a few weeks and I don't post anything or I don't really have any activity. Then I come back to it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is sick. And it's the same with photography and video. You know, sometimes depending on the project, if I come here and get a bunch of cool shots of the truck and I'm like, oh, I'm pumped up on photography again. And how can I work it into the grid? And how can I make sure it works? And I have like 3 or 4 different test accounts that I post everything to first. And then we do what we call grid tests. And I screenshot those and send them to my friends to see what they think flows the best for the next 10 photos moving forward. And I liked, you know, this better than that. And then I'm really into it. But it's just a kind of an ebb and flow.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what struck me about it was the fact that your first project on the internet in the world is your name, and then your second project is an alias.
Mm-hmm.
The project which may reflect more personally.
Yeah.
It's interesting how
Yeah.
these things transpire.
That is interesting, isn't it?
That like you might think it could go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
There was early days of social media. People were very careful about their identity, and there was a lot of anonymity, which is the thing that made Will smirk and get turned on.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when face reveal videos were a thing because everyone was shooting videos but not showing
Face
themselves.
reveals. Forgot about that.
And it's interesting that your progression took you to a slightly more anonymous place in name and in even revealing who was responsible initially. And yet,
It would have been even more anonymous had the original usernames been available.
go ahead.
Like I wouldn't have gone with Pete's Pirate Life. I probably would have just had something to do with Pirate Life that was easier to not attach to somebody.
You would have preferred for it to be even more anonymous.
Yeah.
You see that? How you're trying to escape?
Yeah, I feel like I'm learning a lot about myself in this podcast.
You're trying to escape what you built, right?
Yeah.
Because that you built your own prison and you're
Yeah.
trying to escape it.
I've heard it put that way before.
No, we all do.
Yeah.
I'm not. This ain't not. We all
Yeah,
do.
no. It is what it is.
We all do. Like it's like, and it sounds like a really negative way to.
I've even crafted my final video. If I could ever have the last video I ever post, I know it would be sick.
Wow.
It would be sick. I would love, and it stemmed from something. We were in New York shooting a project once for this company I was working for, and everybody was walking like a couple feet ahead of me, and I got a phone call, so I hung back a little bit, and they didn't even bother to stop to look to see if I was still behind them. They just kept going, and at this point, they were like blocks ahead. And I had the thought for a moment, like if I just went back to the hotel now, packed all my stuff, made my bed, because that's what's really weird about the whole thing, packed all my stuff, made the bed, left. When these guys came back, they would find a made bed, which would freak them right out. All Pete's stuff would be gone. And then I would change my number, delete everything, and they would just never hear from me, see me, or know what happened ever again. They'd be like, he was behind us, and then he was like, he never existed. And I thought, wouldn't like the final video for someone whose whole business is online and public and internet to be erasing my entire digital footprint? How would I do that? Like partner with governments and crazy companies that would be able to pull that off, and the whole video would be a documentary about deleting myself, and I would have to like host it somewhere else because it wouldn't be on my channel, and that would be the last thing you see from me, and everything else would be removed except for that. Be sick.
Be kind of bittersweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought that would be interesting. I don't know that I'll ever do it. I don't think it's even possible, but it was just a cool thought. I've always kind
I
of
like that thought.
come back to that. Yeah.
I like that thought. It's one thing about being in control of like your business being you. I think it's healthy to remember that you can also turn it off.
Yeah. That's what's cool.
It's just like
And
a
I-
moment in time.
And
Done.
I
Yeah.
I know I play with the exact same thoughts.
Yeah.
Like when a delete button starts feeling attractive.
Yeah.
Delete.
Didn't Markiplier delete his whole channel?
Did he?
He's
I
like,
don't
he's
know.
like, he's like, when it gets to, what was it? You should look that up. There was a second channel. It wasn't his, but he had a
oh,
second
yeah,
channel.
yeah. I was called.
And when it got to a certain number, he's like, it's gone.
Annis.
And he did it.
Yeah.
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 Love that.
It was for a year. The idea,
Yeah.
the concept was this. I think that's healthy psychologically.
Well, you said that at the very beginning. Deleting channels, starting channels should just be more of not a huge thing.
Willie Doo just mistyped the thing, and well, take it easy, be careful over there. It would be nice. I think it could be a really healthy landscape for experimentation if there were, and it's mostly our own faults in that, like, we are the strictest prison guards.
I often say that.
Like, talk about the prison from before.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus, why do
I do this to myself?
why do they strangle ourselves all the time?
I tell
Like,
everybody I worked my whole life to get away from like working for a boss.
and you're the worst boss
And I'm
you
the
could
worst
ever
boss
have.
to myself than I've ever had.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. And so I think that's a big thing that keeps us from like just treating the whole thing a little bit more loosely. And certainly in the early days, it was by nature that way because the foundation wasn't so robust. And so it was more attractive or reasonable to approach things in that fashion. And so there's a whole like untangling effect that it was probably not exclusive to us. It's just anything that you do for a certain amount. You get people who have do startup businesses and then they sell it and then they go do
start another one.
Like that feels
Yeah. Yeah. Once that's gone, sell it, move on.
that feels ooh.
It's exciting.
Ooh,
What's that life all about?
We get to do that again. We get to start off. But your channel's Peter McKinnon.
And your unbox therapy.
You see, but I'm feeling like maybe. Is it possible? Let me ask you this.
Sure. Hit me.
Could Unbox Therapy have a different host?
No.
Same question for Willie Doo.
No, I don't think so. When I hear unbox therapy, I think of your mannerisms and all like the little things you do when
You guys are crazy, man. Unbox Therapy could have another host.
No.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely. I'll just be sitting over here on the leather couch.
No. No one would do it like you do it.
Well, maybe it would
That's
be.
what people look forward to.
It
When you're
could-
looking at something, you're like, ah,
It could be something different. It could be something different. I'm not saying it would be exactly the same.
why don't they put it in the box? It should be in the box. Just saying.
Yeah.
Put it in the box.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just terrified of this thing where it's you're standing at a concert and everybody is demanding that the band play a song that they made 20 years ago.
So I'm doing a documentary on a band called Angels and Airwaves.
I heard
And
him.
the guitarist, you'll know Tom DeLonge from Blink 182.
Yeah.
The guy who Aliens and UFOs.
Yeah. Aliens.
So I'm making this film about these guys, and it's been going on forever, just because the pandemic put a big hold on it. But one of the things he said during the interviews that we were doing was, "I've worked my whole life to just be Tom DeLonge and not
Yeah.
Tom from Blink." And it's exactly that. He's like, I don't want to stand on. I love those songs we made in the '90s, but I don't want to stand on stage and sing "What's My Age Again" every day. Like there's more to it than that. There's other things I want to explore. I want to write books and write films and play different styles of music and find aliens and do all these things with the government and make new companies. Like I don't want to just be Tom from Blink who's running around naked with a guitar. And he's like, I still love that stuff and it should still be celebrated and it's rad and I get it. He's like, but there's just more to it than that. And
Yeah.
he's like, I've fought my whole life to become just Tom DeLonge.
Maybe that's the difference between making something and consuming something. Like, because you just, in his case, described something similar to what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like when you make something, you immediately start thinking about the next thing you want to make. You don't really, in many cases, you might not like the thing you made as much as other people do.
Yeah.
They may like it more than you do. And so because of that, part of that process is like putting things down or wishing that you could, because the motivation to create the next thing requires you to not be fulfilled with the last thing.
Yeah. That
You
makes
kind
sense.
of have to push the last thing away in order to create space for the next thing, even if it's on a specific channel.
That reminds me of, when Casey stopped vlogging, he used the analogy of swinging through a jungle on vines. And he's like, and to get to the next thing, I have to let go of the vine I was swinging on to get to the next one, or I won't get further ahead
Right.
to where I want to go.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of that, just like letting go of the thing.
Being a requirement. But then
Yeah.
as a content consumer, you're kind of experiencing the thing from a different perspective. You're experiencing the thing in a more, first of all, faster. You spend less time with it because the finished product is often far less time consuming than the creation of the thing.
Yep.
And you're bringing your appreciation to it, and you're assuming that the person who made it has the same level of appreciation for it. And so when you're clamoring in the crowd to play the thing, you can't understand what the problem is. Didn't you love it as much as I did?
Yeah.
And maybe the answer is no.
Yeah.
Maybe you never did love it as much as if you were completely disconnected from it and you could have experienced it minus the process of making something, burying something, and making something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just wondering what it is about this trend that like a lot of people that I know that make things and publish things are often their biggest critics. They're the least likely to go rewatch something they did.
I always talk. I know I'm good at what I do, but I don't really like anything that I do or anything that I make, because I always just see it for what it could have been or could be in the future. So yes, I know I can make decent videos and I've made great videos, but I still just see them as things that I did wrong that I could do better in the future.
And that makes sense in my head.
And like that's all I see them as.
It makes sense because if your goal is progression and improvement, then how do you do that without failure? If everything you made is amazing and the best ever, like where do you go from there?
And that comes right back down to it sometimes it's a job. You know, I was saying I want to make these long form films, right? I want to make everything more dramatic and thought provoking. But if you did that over and over and over, then that's the new bar. That becomes boring for you and probably your audience. And you need to have the mix. You need to have the mix of, you know, ones you like, ones you don't like, some that people like, some that aren't better.
What happened with your hand?
Broke all my fingers straight in half.
Seemed like a bad idea.
You know, I wasn't planning on it. Yeah, I was driving a side by side, and I wasn't even going fast. I was going 40, and then I brought it down because we got into some woods, and I brought it down to like 20 kilometers an hour. I think the suspension was too high on the front. Took a little bit of a right turn, went up on two wheels, and the one thing they tell you, the one thing when you're driving a UTV or a side by side or anything like that is keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The roll cage will protect you.
Sound like a good idea.
It's a great idea. Highly recommend it. I did not do that. The ground was coming kind of slowly because it tipped rather slow. It didn't happen fast. So I had time to process like, oh, I'm tipping. It's happening. Oh, there's the ground coming faster. Oh, don't. So I stuck my hand out and the frame came down on top of my fingers on impact. And I was able to pull them out fast. And I think if it was concrete, they'd be gone.
Gone.
Yeah, a friend of mine, his son stuck his arm out and lost his arm.
Good Lord.
Just gone. So I took my glove off. I was bending them. I was like, oh, it seems fine. Put some ice on them. They were a bit bruised up. And my wife was like, you should probably go to the hospital. I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. Maybe an hour after that, the pain was about 12 out of 10. I was like, I'm going to go. And they did a quick x-ray. And we're like, yeah, you broke all of them. All of them in half.
So would you say that's your, I assume this is the case, but maybe not. Is this your worst injury while filming a video?
Yeah. Yeah, then the fire department had to come and cut my ring off.
Oh,
They couldn't get it off. This probably hurt more than actually breaking them. They had to wrap a shoelace around the ring finger to compress the swelling so that then they could tuck the shoelace back under the ring, and then pulling the shoelace would effectively remove the ring with the shoelace as it uncoiled. And it was awful. He got to the knuckle and he was just like, yeah, it's not going to go. I was like, I was telling you that, dude. I've been telling you. Can I please get some Tylenol 3? Yeah, and they just got some garden clippers and jaws of life that thing right off. Yeah.
Are you 100% now?
No, so I can bend this way, and then these I can bend to there. That's it. But flexibility is pretty good, but I have zero strength. Like I could not open a door with this. I couldn't flick a lighter. I can't hold a pen. I have zero, almost like motor skills with this hand right now. So.
I don't think I've ever, as far as video making is concerned, been in a scenario of anywhere similar type of. Oh, wait a sec.
But I wasn't filming something. I was.
Oh, you
my
weren't.
GoPro was just rolling because I always roll when I'm riding.
Oh, because
any kind of power
I was
sports.
watching this video here, and it seemed like maybe it was going to be part of a video.
No, it was just vlog. It was just GoPro footage of this run I was doing. I was trying to see how fast I could do it in. I'm sure if it was epic, I probably would have come back there and made something out of it. But if I'm ever on a quad or a Sea-Doo in a really cool place or anything like that, I'm usually rolling some kind of action cam. Just for moments like these specifically.
That constitutes action.
Yeah.
That is Sternly Action.
I'm curious about your tattoos. Are you gonna get them?
First call I made after that happened, I looked at my hand, I picked up my phone, called my tattoo artist, sent him a photo. I'm like, hey, these might be broken, but do those letters need to be hit again?
Yeah.
He's like, looks pretty good, man.
Okay.
And he was like, did you get the lion? I was like, no, lion's safe. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God. We'd just done it like 2 weeks before it was still healing. So he's like, don't tell me you just destroyed the top of your hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got into an accident, right?
Did I? I was just trying to think about it when I was.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
It was that
that's
bad.
Not, no,
eh?
that's not
Oh,
real. That's not real.
What do you mean?